Hey guys, it's Justin with Custom Canine Companion. So today I'm gonna answer a few questions, or just one question in general is, how do I get my dog from being food aggressive, or I'm having issues with my dog becoming food aggressive? So I'm just gonna give you a few tips and show you guys what you can do to prevent your dog from becoming food aggressive. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so when you have your dog or in your food, sorry you can't see my face, but I'm just gonna focus on the dog and what I'm doing with the bowl, okay? So what you're gonna do is, if you go to put your bowl down and your dog gets up, you're gonna raise your bowl up. So just like she did, is I went to go put the bowl down and she got up, I'm gonna raise the bowl back up. I don't want to allow her to come forward and get the food until I tell her she can do so. So it may take a while, so you just have to be really patient and consistent with it. So that way she's understanding that, okay, I get fed when he decides I get fed. She has to do this behavior until she can get the food, okay? Roger. Sit. Good. And I want to go slow kind of to make her have some kind of standard. So it's very slow and she has to wait before she can get the reward. So I'm gonna go slow, and if she gets up, I pull it back and she can really see that. So that's kind of the negative punishment right there, is not giving her what she wants, but controlling her sitting there. So if she even leans forward, I'm going to pull it up, because even that small of a detail can mess up your control, okay? Yes. Good. So I give her that release of a yes, and then I'm going to praise her here too, okay? Because you can see that some dogs will think that because you're coming into the environment that they need to protect their food. So I'm just going to keep my presence here, so that way she gets used to me being here, okay? But her focus is on the dog food. So I'm going to praise her. Good. 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 Good, and just marking her behavior while I'm here is positive, okay? She's not growling, she's not barking at me. Even when I get really close to her face, she's not getting aggressive, and that's what we want to do. So doing it once you get the dog to really build that up. But even if it starts to happen, you can start that process of just controlling the dog when they're getting that release for their food. So that way they have to wait for you to tell them that they can get their food. Oh, she's coming to say hi. Ain't that right, Raja? Raja. She smells the other food that I have on the table, so I can show you guys another method to do it. All right, we'll see you in a second. I'm just going to put my hand in there, and she has to avoid my hand as far as biting near my hand. She can only use her tongue. Raja. See how she's avoiding my hand as far as finding the kibble. Good girl. She's just moving my hand around the kibble instead of going through my hand to try to get the kibble. Just moving her face around my hand. All right, good girl. So again, when you're putting your hand in the kibble, you want to start this as soon as you get the dog, so that way that you already build that foundation for later, so that it avoids that aggressive behavior. A lot of times that's built in for when they were puppies, and if they get fed with their litter mates, they're all scrounging for food to hurry up and try to get something to eat, so that they take that to their new home. And if you're down there trying to get their food, or if you're trying to do something, or if you have a small child that comes around them, the dog starts to get aggressive because it's trying to hurry up and scavenge for the food. So as long as you're doing this stuff while you get the dog, then you'll have better manners as far as eating when it comes to your dog growing and becoming an adult. Okay, so again, two different types of things you can do is just control when the dog's allowed to eat. Don't let the dog just get up and start eating whenever it wants to or he wants to. You want to establish a boundary of, I set this down there and I release you to come and eat. So that way the dog knows, okay, I'm getting fed from the owner, not because I want to. And so they'll have the respect for you of when they're eating. And don't just do this with the adult. Allow your children to establish that, okay, you don't get to eat until I tell you to eat. So that way that your children become an equal to you instead of an equal to the dog. Because then you'll see that bullying happens to your kids versus if they establish that they control when the dog eats or does something, then they have to respect your children as well. Another thing too, as a puppy, is to put your hand in the bowl, because a lot of times, again, with the puppy, they're going to try to hurry up and try to eat through your hand. So they're going to try to eat through your hand instead of move around your fingers to try to get the kibble. They don't have respect for your hand, and whenever you're doing that as a puppy, they'll learn to have respect for your hand, because then they won't get the kibble. If they were to try to bite through your hand, then just pick the whole kibble up and take it away from them, and then allow them to know that, okay, this action of biting through your hand does a negative thing to me. It takes my food away, so I better stop doing that, and I won't have that issue. So again, those are just two tips that you can do to prevent food aggression or to help stop some kind of food aggression that your dog has, whether it be growling. If growling happens, doing the petting while the dog is eating, so that way you don't relieve that pressure, is a good thing to do. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to give us a shout or just DM us, and we'll answer your questions.